This is the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abich, founder of Abich Financial Services.
And I'm Heather Branch here with Abe, asking for his ideas on ways that you can be working now to better prepare for your financial future. TheRetirementKey.com is where you can find us online. We also have links posted in our show notes, so you can just click there, or again, find us anytime at TheRetirementKey.com. And when it comes to retirement, of course, the number one thing that all retirees fear and worry about is that paycheck and the income they're going to need in the years ahead. So I want to talk to you about figuring out how to do that. How do we replace our working income? That's going to come up a little bit later in this segment.
Sure.
But first, I don't know why I'm laughing. I don't know why. Maybe I'm an East Coast girl at heart. Like, I have just been an East Coast girl. My parents are from New York. I grew up in Atlanta, went to Virginia Tech. Like, I just, so whenever I hear any kind of West Coast stuff anyways, I just roll my eyes a little bit. Forgive me for from California. It's just, I don't know why. I'm just an East Coast woman. So this story about what's happening with the great flight out of our sister state over on the West Coast is not lost on me, Abe. I mean, the whole idea of taxes and what's happening with our country, with the national debt, where are we with the debts?
34
well
trillion.
Over 30
and counting.
Oh,
34 trillion and counting. But
and
it's
counting.
Just a number. It's just a number. It doesn't matter. They say doesn't matter. Don't pay attention to it.
When you say and counting, who do you think they are counting on to pay off that debt?
Middle Americans.
Take a good long look in the mirror,
Middle
friends.
Americans. Yep, that's right.
So when it comes to our retirement and the money that we have to pay in those years, it's like, we're not done yet. You've been paying taxes your whole life, your whole working life. And then once you're done working, you're not done paying taxes yet. So that's what we want to talk about. The idea of, where there is a new tax rule, there are Americans trying to figure out how much of it we actually have to pay, particularly when it comes to retirement income. It's very important to have the right strategies in place. And what's happening in California is the state has lost over 750,000 residents in just the last 3 years alone because of its oppressive state tax rate of 13.3%. The state of California actually has had its lowest population number in 8 years. They're leaving. And as we all know, if you're in the South, Tennessee, Florida, Texas, they all have no state income taxes. But the thing is, for those living here in the greater DC area, Northern Virginia, perhaps they're not looking to move. We like it here. Virginia's nice. So what options are there to not have to go to the extremes of moving to try to reduce our future tax rates? Are there things that can be implemented? How do you advise your clients?
Well, you have to have a tax plan, right, Heather? And so many of our clients that come over from existing relationships, other big box firms, and even successful do-it-yourself investors, they simply don't know how to plan for taxes. Tax planning is not part of investment management typically. We just had a gentleman come in and he's working with a investment advisor. And I'm like, you're probably here. I read through your entire file. You're probably here because although you've done a good job of saving for your investments, this specific gentleman had well over $3 million, someone else managing a good part of it. There was no discussion outside of portfolio management and like allocation, diversification on that chunk of the portfolio. And I'm like, so they're not talking to you about taxes. They're not talking to you about when to take Social Security. They're not talking to you about how to generate income. They're not talking to you about healthcare. They're not talking to you about estate planning. Yet they're charging you a 1% fee or close to it, maybe a little less, a little more. Okay, we're going to charge you a fee as well, right? This is what we do for a living. We manage people's life savings, but all of this other planning is included. Why? Because we're a phase 2 fiduciary retirement planning firm, not a phase 1 accumulation-based firm, not a firm that just focuses on the investments, because this gentleman and so many of other clients have won the game. So there are many things you can do to actually help you with a tax plan to mitigate and lower taxes without having to move out of the state. And fortunately, here in the DC metro area, in Virginia and in Maryland, taxes are reasonable, like, between 5 and 6% per year, right? Not 13. That's just highway robbery. So you think about some of the biggest things that could erode a life savings. Think about how long you've worked to get here, where you now have saved probably between $1 million and $3 million. That's a lot of people in this area. How long has it taken you to get here? And then what are the main things that could erode that? One of the biggest things out there that could erode it is higher taxes. So there are things you can do without moving out of the state. You can shift money into a non-taxable account. You could convert money into Roths. You can convert money into life insurance, being tax-free, permanent life insurance, that is. You could consider investments that aren't taxed as ordinary income, like capital gains, brokerage accounts, stocks, bonds, real estate, not taxed at ordinary income, but capital gains. So we just had a couple come in recently. They have $1.5 million saved. They're a 6 out of 10 risk on our risk scale. They live in Alexandria, Virginia, mid-60s, retiring within the next 12 months. One of their biggest concerns, Heather, was that they had no tax plan and concern with taxes going up on them. And although most of us in the DC metro area have saved enough to retire with dignity and confidence, the amount of money might be there. But if those dollars continue to grow well, we continue to grow those values, and then they all stay in pre-taxed accounts, the tax problem could worsen and compound, right? If we don't do anything about it now, the tax code is scheduled to change January 1st, 2026. So we want to think about putting layers of protection, a moat around our own retirement castle, if you will, the closer and closer we get to retirement, especially if you have enough to retire successfully, you've saved enough, right? So this couple had no tax plan, concern with taxes going up. What did we provide them? A tax mapping report and analysis to show them right where they are in the brackets and how much room, if any, they could do Roth conversions into tax-free buckets. We determined that $50,000 a year was an appropriate amount for them. In addition to being concerned with taxes, Heather, they were also concerned with long-term care and health care, having parents that needed some form of care and parents and family that live long. Concerned with taxes, concerned with long-term care, concerned with legacy. So what we did is we took that $50,000 that we are converting into their tax-free buckets and putting half into a Roth IRA and half into hybrid permanent life insurance. It's called Indexed Universal Life, which builds them tax-free cash values, a tax-free death benefit, and long-term care.
Got it.
Life insurance, if you've got life insurance and you're in your 50s, 60s, and 70s, and you still have it and you want it and you're going to keep it the rest of your life, it becomes more about a want, not a need, right? Like when you're young, married, you have debt, your income isn't as high, you don't have as much savings. Life insurance is an absolute
You have dependents,
need.
you've got your kids.
Yeah. It's an absolute need for a lot of people. Once we build up a nice estate plan, have a good amount of assets saved, we're getting closer to retirement, kids are usually out of the house, debt is paid down or off, life insurance becomes much more of a want than a need. And our clients, a lot of our clients want it to continue on their life, to pass to their spouses, to pass to their kids and grandkids, to be there for long-term care, and to have another tax-free option outside of the Roth. So if you sound like this couple in Alexandria, Virginia, and you say, you know what, Abe, I'm getting close to retirement as well. I'm also concerned with taxes. $34 trillion in national debt. Taxes are likely going to go up, right? If they never go up, okay. But if they go up even by a few percent, I want to be prepared. I want that same tax mapping report and analysis you just mentioned. Go to the retirementkey.com. That's our website. Click on the Contact Us tab at the top of the page, and we can begin to have these same very conversations with you about taxes as well.
We also have links posted in our show notes, so you can just click there and we'll take you to our website. Or again, find us anytime at theretirementkey.com. Okay, so something we're worried about for retirement, taxes, trying to reduce those. But the biggest fear for all retirees, we've talked about this many times on this program before, is the idea of running out of money. It's the number one fear for retirees. So financial advisor Azul Wells says that anxiety can actually cause us to end up kicking the can down the road before we finally decide to leave the workforce.
There's always something that we can be waiting for to say, oh, I don't want to leave now. I don't want to leave now. And while the 4 most dangerous words for a soon-to-be retiree or a could-be retiree is just one more year, those are the 4 most dangerous words. So one of the secrets to happiness, I think, and to embracing your retirement and getting on with your journey is being willing to say no to making more money.
So that's where you come in, Abe. How do you help us get to a point where we have the freedom to say no? For somebody who is dreading leaving that working paycheck behind, how do you help to figure out and replace that paycheck, create that income plan?
I think it's once someone has the math tested, the numbers run, and verified by a retirement planning professional to show them that they do have enough saved to cover their expenses, inflation adjusted, for the rest of their lives. And that's a huge reason why a lot of our clients come in to see us, and then why they set up the plans, because they had this accumulation plan, right? They're so used to climbing up their own retirement mountain. We talk about the retirement mountain a lot. They're climbing up. They're at the point of retirement. They're at the peak of their retirement mountain, looking to descend down successfully, but needing to know before they pull the trigger and retire, is this possible? Can I do it? These are not people. Most people across the DC metro area that are doing this day in and day out. These are hard workers, our clients all across the area that are doing everything they can do to save enough. They don't want to think about this like we think about it. We think about this day in and day out. This is all we do. We know how to do it. And really, Heather, within the first 5 minutes of our meetings, once we get into our reporting, we are able to tell our prospective clients whether they can retire and when. Because the first thing we do is we bring up an income plan and a roadmap. Okay, you've got $3 million saved. Is it enough? I mean, what if you spend $50,000 a month, right? That's not going to be enough money. If you spend $10,000 a month, maybe. So we've got to have the math tested. This was one of the biggest reasons why we had a couple call into the show, listen to us for a long time on WMAL, and then come into the office all the way from Waldorf, Maryland. $2 million saved. Fantastic job of accumulating. 5 on our risk scale, retiring in the next 12 months in their mid-60s. In that first 5 or 10 minutes, just as I just said there, we pull up their retirement income plan, their roadmap, and with them, the husband had a pension, wife had a pension, Social Security 1, Social Security 2. They also had another annuity or one annuity. And with those 5 current and existing income streams, those cover all of their bills.
So they didn't even need the $2 million. That's just
not really. There's
now.
Like another $1.5 million that's really just icing on the cake.
Nice.
And they had a good feeling, but it's not until a financial professional put it together for them.
That's right.
That was us, right? So you want to think about distribution, income. Yes, we want to continue to grow your money, allocation, diversification, getting decent returns. Those are all important, but no more important than setting up an income and distribution plan where protection and preservation is way up at the top there for you. No income plan. They needed consolidation. They needed a transition plan. We put that all together for them. So if you're 55 years old and older, you've saved $500,000 as well for your retirement. You sound like this couple in Waldorf. Need an income plan, need a transition plan into retirement, need to make sure that you have the confidence that you can retire with dignity, with success, with confidence. Go to theretirementkey.com, click on the Contact Us tab at the top of that page, and we can begin to have these same conversations about your retirement income as well.
We also have links posted in the show notes, so you can just click there to begin the conversation, doing the math, getting that clarity on your savings, seeing what income can be generated for you in your retirement. So again, click on the links in the show notes or just find us anytime at theretirementkey.com.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abich. To learn more about Abich Financial Services, visit theretirementkey.com and join Abe for his radio show, The Retirement Key, Saturdays at 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 2 p.m. on WMAL.
Investment advisory services offered through Abich Financial Wealth Management, LLC, number 310633, a registered investment advisor firm. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Abraham Abich is licensed in your state, please call 571-577-9968. Abich Financial Services is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Abich Financial Services, Inc., Virginia Insurance License number 127820.